Welcome to the Wildcast podcast, coming to you from Wildcast Studios with your hosts Adam Lund and Jeremy Boucher.
Ho, ho, ho! Welcome in and welcome back to our Wildcast Christmas Studios on Roger TV and YouTube for another episode of the Wildcast podcast, your unofficial voice for all things Moncton Wildcats, presented by Appliance Solutions, the premier destination for all KitchenAid, Whirlpool, and Maytag appliances in Moncton. Right now, they got the Gen Air Luxury Redefined event. Save 15% when you purchase any 2 or 3 qualifying Gen Air products. Save 20% when you purchase any 4 qualifying Gen Air products from now till New Year's Eve. As always, finishers, I am your host, Adam Lund, and I'm joined by your favorite co-hoster, Mr. YQM, Mr. Timu. Are you still Mr. Timu?
No, you can drop it.
All right, no more Mr. Timu.
It.
Mr. Starbucks.
Sorry.
Mr. Jeremy Boucher. Christmas parties have come and gone. How you doing?
I didn't have a Christmas party. I had a Christmas getting together on Saturday, and rough. That was rough.
But that built-in designated driver is a beauty.
Hey, it's definitely has its benefits now.
100%.
Hey, when you did your intro last week, you realized you never said your name. You were so excited to get to me, you forgot to say your own name.
That's because last week was so exciting to get to you. I didn't care about people know who I am. They wanted to get to the news.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually realized that. I was like, he didn't say his name. He went right
absolutely.
straight to me. What
Nobody
a nice
cares
man.
about me when this guy's got some news.
What a gentlemanly thing to do.
Which is worse, man? All the shoveling or all the leaves? Or did you actually?
You know what? The leaves is
did you
worse.
Break down and get a snowblower?
Not yet.
No.
Now I just go into those shovels, and the snow that we got Sunday was just powder.
Yeah,
super easy to clean. Maybe took 20 minutes to get the entire driveway done.
Yeah.
The other snow before, just let it go. Yeah. I would just enter the driveway at a different angle and plow it down myself. And yeah. But last night I was out there for maybe 20 minutes, but it was super easy.
Yeah, we bought a snow thrower.
Yes.
A plug-in snow thrower. That thing has been an absolute beauty. Like, we only bought it because at the end of the driveway, the snow gets piled up, and that's what I wanted it for. Like, I can shovel. I don't want to, but I can. And that first snow that was kind of heavy and stuff, I'm glad I had that. It was a little dicey near the end, but that yesterday, 20 minutes, I was done my driveway.
That's awesome.
Just blowing snow everywhere and then just hammering into the edges to get rid of it. But I am... I'm so glad that we bought that for $60 when they're brand new. It like she just bought it off someone. Like, it's amazing what she finds, and she's like, "Hey, guess what? I bought this." Like, we were looking at we set up the playpen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we decorated for Christmas on Saturday. We set up the playpen and everything in the bedroom for the new arrival, because last time he just showed up. This time she may just show up randomly, although we are set to make an appointment for that. But wanted to get ready, so we got the baby room ready, got that put beside the bed, and she goes, "I think we should just get a bassinet," because we had the playpen with the bassinet on top and everything. I was like, "Sure, all right." So I was gonna get up, go to Toys R Us, buy a brand new one, sitting there watching the hockey game Saturday night after the Christmas party, which, again, bonus to have a pregnant wife. Oh no, she's tired. She wants to go home at 9. She hits that tired phase and she's out. Peace. Everyone's leaving at like 2:30, hungover today. And, so we got home, and she's like, "Oh, what do you think about this one?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, it looks nice." So I get up Sunday, and I'm like, "All right, I'm going to head out." She's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, nowhere. Do you want to come with me?" She's like, "Where are we going?" I was like, "Toys R Us." She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing." She's like, "Well, that's fine, but we got to go to grocery shopping. We got to go to Shoppers. We got to go to Superstore. We got to go to Shoppers. And then we got to go to pick up a bassinet." "What? You bought one?" She's like, "Yeah, I showed you last night." I was like, "No, you didn't." And she goes, "I told you last night." I was like, "No, you didn't." You went, "What do you think about this one?" Which I now realize means I just bought this one. So we got that picked up today, but I'm just like, I just want to buy stuff. Like, we've gotten a lot of gifts from our friends, and family's been buying stuff, and leading up to it, I was like, I want to buy this. I want to buy this. She's like, "Wait for the shower. The baby shower's over." Her mom buys everything, or she finds discounts. I'm like, I just want to buy. So don't worry about buying anything, because we have lots of stuff. Once we're done, we'll just gift right to you and keep it in the podcast family.
We're, Megan's kind of abusing that buy nothing group. And she's getting free stuff like every week. We've already gotten a free stroller, bassinets, diaper bag, soothers, maternity clothes. Like I don't think we'll have to buy a damn thing. I think we're getting a crib for free.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're gonna be set for.
But whatever you don't get and you need.
Yeah.
Once we're done, especially if you have a girl, we have no idea what you're having yet. But if you have a girl, we've got some clothes. If you have a boy, we've got some clothes as well. So don't even worry about Facebook. Just hit me up. Hey, do you have this? Hell's Kitchen. Brittany is out. I kind of felt bad for her because her team just started throwing her under the bus. But between Anne-Marie and her, once you get to this stage, you have to be
on your game.
Yeah, you gotta be able to lead a kitchen, and she's asking a lot of questions and hand holding, and just even if she got past this week, she wasn't getting it out of the top 8. Like it's
can't cut a scallop correctly.
She cut scallops like I did.
Butchered.
Like squares. I'm just like, that's coming back. But that's where she's at. Like you just, and I still think Kyle had a tough week. He bounced back, but I think I still think he's underrated. I still got Egypt in there. Who are you repicking? Because you picked a new name, I think.
I was on Team Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's starting to falter though, but we'll see how the rest of the time goes. We only got a few weeks left, I think.
Yeah, it's 4 weeks left. I'm trying to figure out what challenges are left because they just did the blind challenge with the maple syrup and Kaya. It takes a full vat of maple syrup all over him right into his mouth. Oh, Gordon Ramsay, close your mouth. I can't imagine taking that much maple syrup. But as always, don't forget you can follow us on the social medias. Twitter, Moncton Wildcast, Instagram, Wildcast Podcast, TikTok, Wildcast Podcast, and as well on YouTube. Don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button. Shows us you like what we do. And click the bell so you don't miss any podcast post games when we get back to doing them. And stay tuned at the end of the show. We got a special. You're going to want to be on YouTube. You're going to want to click the bell because you're going to want to know something that's coming down the pipe in a couple days. Quick question for you. And it's kind of fun this or that last time we did it. But, it's Christmas time. You're done your Christmas shopping. I, again, have not started my Christmas shopping, although we are going quite small because it's just the two of us. We're not traveling anywhere. So we're going to go QMJHL Christmas shopping, and we're going to put our Christmas trade list together. I think we each got 3 players. No goaltenders. No goaltenders.
Nope.
And as always, we are going to talk about players we want coming in. We're not going to talk about players going out.
That's correct.
Because they may or may not listen, and their families may or may not listen. So take this information for what you will, and figure it out for yourself. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first, actually.
Yeah. All right. He was just here this last 2 weeks. 05 from born in Gatineau, plays for the hometown Gatineau. He was drafted with Drummondville. Lucas Landry.
Yeah.
I think in watching, I went back and kind of watched some highlights of that game, and I feel like that is a perfect player that's depth scoring wise. 19 goals, 20 assists, 39 goals last year. In 30 games, he's already got 6 goals and 11 team on a Gatineau team that's got 5 wins.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to see a lot of goal totals there, but I think that's a player that on that third line, in that bottom 6, which will be the theme of my trades. I think we're looking in the bottom area, the depth, the what you're going to need in a playoff series. He's a perfect fit for me, and if he has to go into that second line because Gardner wants to move some things around or there's an injury, I think he fits just perfectly in that mold.
Yeah, I'll go to Victoriaville for my forward. I'll go with Maël Laving.
Yep.
Well, just a big forward, I think would fit pretty nicely on the. Oh, you never know. If a third line, if somebody has no problem being bumped down to the fourth line.
Yep.
You know, he's a captain in Victoriaville, so anytime you trade your captain, it's going to cost a little more. But if you look at what's available out there in terms of 05s, let's just say we're set on our 20-year-olds. Maya Leving is probably your top forward that's available. Him and Justin LaRose, you can make the argument of those two teammates being probably the top forwards available. I'll also stick in Victoriaville for potentially a defenseman. I'll go with Samuel Kingsley. I'll go there, but at the same time, I believe he's headed to their Memorial Cup hosts for Moski. So I will not going to get too excited about him. But Maya Leving, yes, it'll cost a lot, but be a hell of an acquisition.
Yep. So I'm going to go. I was going to talk about the player that I had early on from Victoriaville, but I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to go with the guy that you talked about last year. I know a guy.
Yeah.
Alexander Guy. Or Alexander Guy from Blainville, but he plays in Val-d'Or. Again, 6'3", 193, big body that can play in that second line, third line, even down into the fourth line to add some size, skill, speed. Again, he's played 25 games. He's got 6 goals and 7 points. So he's a goal scorer, and that's what you need is somebody that can chip in, maybe be part of a shutdown pair, shutdown third line, which we've had success in the playoffs in previous years, having that third line. So I think he at that size, that speed, he can play up the lineup if it's needed. So maybe this is the year that we get our guy, Alexander Guy from Victoriaville.
Potentially.
Or Val-d'Or.
Val-d'Or, that's right. Yeah, and I think closer to home, I think another acquisition that would be really good in the back would be Jack Martin. Reuniting him with Dylan McKinnon and Preston Lounsbury from their Moncton Flyer days. Cool. If you
want to talk about a third pair shutdown line and a PK, Lounsbury and Patterson.
Martin.
Oh yeah, Martin. Sorry.
Yeah. Patterson's not getting moved.
No. My brain was thinking Patterson the whole time you were talking. I was like, "Yep, that'll work." Oh, wait.
I was hoping, we could make a move for him last year when he was apparently available, but that didn't happen. Yeah, I think Jack Martin would be a great acquisition on the back end. Bring him home, and if you want to look for more depth, you could look at maybe a Max Jardine in Charlottetown or a Nolan Ling in Gatineau. Those aren't big. They're not big names, but it could be a 7 or 8 defenseman if you want to really start working the depth chart.
Yeah, and staying closer to home in this division, back and forth on defensemen. The one that I thought about off air before we started was bringing home Francisco. That's fun to say because he would be outside that window of he was traded 2 years ago, so he can be traded back. He had a great chemistry with AFG. So I think that would be, but unfortunately he's 20-year-old. You're probably not going to upgrade there. The one that I talked about early in the season, closer to home, he's from Oromocto, Anton Topolnitsky from Charlottetown. I think that's again, size 6'2", 193. I think that's a perfect puck moving defenseman to put on that bottom pair with a Grenier. The other one that I would love to get, but again, I don't think they're in the selling mode per se, would be a guy that I've always coveted. I keep bringing him up with you, and that's Jordan Tournier. I don't know if Shawinigan, I think the price there might be too high out of Shawinigan because they're looking at the Western Conference and they're like, well, we got to go through Drummondville or Rouyn-Noranda. So there's a possibility. So I think the price might be too high on him. So I think Topolnitsky will be a nice back plan if they were to miss out on Tourney. So I got Guy, Topolnitsky, and Lucas Landry.
Nice.
And you have?
I had Maya Leving, Jack Martin, and it's just a couple guys who could. Those are my top two, and then like a Max Jardine or a Nolan Ling as depth guys. I could. I think more of a Nolan Ling would be someone you could probably hang on the not necessarily in the stands most of the time, but he'd be like that. I keep forgetting the name of the defenseman we brought in 2020.
Oh, Ryan McClellan.
Yeah. That guy, you could just, he could, if he wants to play, he can play. He's got the capability to play, and at the same time, doesn't mind kind of, eating the popcorn if he has to.
Yeah, and I mean I've said it every trade period that Moncton's been in a position to buy. You can never have enough defensemen, and you're going to have injuries in the playoffs. We plan on going for a nice long playoff run, so you're going to have that. So there's nothing wrong. I think in 2020 they had 5, almost 6 trades.
Yeah.
Then, so I don't think you'll see 6 again because I don't think there's that many teams that are selling. It's like the housing market. It's a buyer's market, and there's going to be a lot of competition, especially in the Eastern Conference. And so it'll be interesting to see who we acquire. And hey, we got somebody on that we can talk about our list with maybe here in a little bit.
That's true. Yeah, could be a good time to maybe get some questions and
get some expert opinions.
See what he thinks.
I know you think we're experts, but we got an actual expert coming in. All right, let's get to some news and notes from around the league.
News and notes from around the queue.
News and notes from around the league presented by Integrity Lawn Care. If you're looking to get ready in the springtime, check out their Instagram, see what kind of work they do. They do great work for us here at Wildcast Studios for about 6 months of the fall season, getting us ready. Check them out on Instagram. Give them a call, 506-866-8218, or email them at integritylawncare@hotmail.com. We'll go outside of the queue here quickly. USHL looking to expand into the OHL. They were in Muskegon and Youngstown. I think this is kind of what we're going to see. The BCHL losing teams, the USHL losing teams or losing players. I think this is the way of the quote unquote new world.
No, you're right. I mean, with that, it's pretty easy. You don't really have to. I mean, what happens to those USHL players is the real question. Do they just join the OHL as with their rosters as is? Or is it just a complete fire sale and, all these players are free agents and can sign wherever they want? That's to be determined.
Kind of an export draft or a expansion draft almost.
Yeah. But look, that's to be determined, right?
Yeah.
If it was a Q expansion, we'd talk a little more about it. But don't think I'll be seeing Youngstown or Muskegon on my road trip list.
No, I was trying to see if there's any cities anywhere close to us, and I think it's mostly in Ohio, Michigan type league. So maybe I don't think they'll disband, but just put the best team, the best players go to those 2 teams and go into the OHL and cause some havoc. Closer to home, obviously, Simon Mullen was named the QMJHL student athlete of the month for Moncton.
Nerd.
And the tweet that's out there, Jeff Merrick had it. QMJHL Board of Governors expected to approve the sale of the Acadie Bathurst site to a group in Newfoundland. So, that sucks for Johnny Rocket and all the fans up there. B, I have no idea how this thing's going to work. And C, what do you do if you're Bathurst?
Yeah,
it's
a good question.
Like, is there a point to pushing all your chips in and leaving Newfoundland with no picks? Or are you just like, we're just going to stay status quo and, have a final year and see where it leads us?
I kind of made the joke a few weeks ago that this was before, Drummondville kind of decided to buy. I said, well, if there's a team out there that's got the assets to get Ethan Gauthier, it's Bathurst, right?
Yeah.
They are stacked. Like their cupboards are loaded. And yeah, you're right. Like if they wanted to and wanted to make a last run at the cup for their fans this year before making the move next year, they've got the assets to do it, but they've also got a few pieces that could be nice for some teams too. So,
and I think the worry is if you go all in to give your fans one last rush, what fans are you going to have that are going to invest in your team knowing that
they're gone?
This is it, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of the tough thing about it.
Yeah.
You might get a couple sold out games here from now until the end of the season, but is it really going to be worth it financially when you're just packing your bags, right?
Yeah, 100%. I will be very interested to see how this plays out. I was looking back at the 07-08 schedule, and it looked like a lot of teams like PEI went for 2 in St. John, Cape Breton went for 2, and St. John's went on the road trip, and then Halifax goes for 2. Chicoutimi goes for 2. And that was so Halifax and Chicoutimi played back-to-back games, the 9th, 10th, 13th, and 14th. So do those 2 teams split the cost to head over there, and Chicoutimi can practice? And it's going to be interesting. Moncton didn't exactly have the most success there in that last season, anyways. Yeah, a little bit of a house of horrors, but hopefully they can come back with the Fog Devils. I think that's what everybody wants, is come back with that Fog Devils logo.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I see on anytime that's promoted. Everyone sees it.
It's a great name, but at the same time, I'm a big fan, or I was a big fan of their ECHL team name, the Newfoundland Growlers. Yeah, I was a big fan of that.
Yeah,
but Fog Devils would be. I mean, it's like recycling, right?
Yeah,
it wouldn't be my top pick, but the logo was great, the name was great. Not a big fan of recycling names. Yeah.
All right. Well, I see our guest is here, so you want to switch thing up and bring your guest?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do that. All right. So yeah, we're gonna switch things up. Back-to-back intros. Here's a view from the other bench.
View from the other bench.
View from our bench.
View from our bench. View from up top. View from anywhere you find him in a rink. We're going to welcome in longtime follower, first-time caller. He's the assistant general manager now in his 4th year. And we're pleased that he's able to give us some time, as it's a busy time for the trade period, to give you fans, get you set for it. Assistant general manager Rick Melanson. Rick, less than a week till the trade period. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing? Thanks for having me on tonight, guys.
Very
well. No problem. We're excited. It's the most wonderful time of the year for some fans of certain teams. Yeah, yes. For certain teams in the league, I guess. I know that GMs are always talking, and I know most deals aren't made this week or as the trade period opens. But how is it? Is it hard to not kind of knee jerk when you have trades kind of implemented and then your team struggles a bit near the deadline? Is it tough not to kind of knee jerk towards something that looks good on paper but might not be good in the long run?
Yeah, I think that's why you've got to kind of, I don't say take your time with it, but at the same time you have to be cautious a little bit. You can't make these too soon, but at the same time, conversations obviously started a little while ago with certain teams and certain GMs and all that, right? So, but yeah, at the same time, we're hearing rumblings that there's some trades that are official, but of course, nothing becomes official until next Monday anyway. So,
let us know.
That's listening to us, Yeah. Please, you sound like this thing called social media exists, right?
I'm talking about the other teams. I'm not talking about us.
Yeah. We have some fans that they ask us, why does it seem this team, the Wildcats, of course, they don't seem like themselves against in a game against Halifax or Gatineau or St. John, but they're at their best against a team like Drummondville or Baie-Comeau, for example. Yeah. As an assistant GM, what are you seeing out there that maybe could be the cause of that?
Well, look, I think right now, we're kind of just playing to the level of the teams that we're playing against. It's almost as if if we play against a lower level team or a lower team in the standings, we kind of go down to their level. And when we play against the higher level teams, then we kind of pick our game up a little bit when we play well. So I think that that's just a part of the learning process, to be honest with you. We've got a good team. We know we have a good team. The players know that we have a good team. They have to realize that you just can't flip the switch, right? And then turn it on whenever you want to. You've got to play a bit more consistent hockey. Like I said, I think we've been in a bit of a funk, I guess, if you will. I guess the last couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks or so. But at the same time, listen, we know what we have. We know what we have in terms of on paper and what we have. So we just have to put it together and keep putting it a bit more consistently on the ice. That's all.
Yeah, we do. Like I said, I've talked to you before, and we're 21-4, 21-5, and we get the 1, and it's like the sky is falling. Like we're 5-22, and it's like you just have to take it. Like this is not when it matters. We're working towards when it matters in April and March. So we came on here a couple weeks ago, and we extended the invitation to Taylor to bring us in, give us his trade list, give us our trade list. See how good at this we actually were. But I guess. I've always been fascinated with how trades work, and the scouting department you guys have works a lot with the U16 markets to get us ready for the draft and whatnot. Do you guys have, I guess, pro scouts that go to games in other markets, or do your scouts for U18 kind of split that if they're close? Like if Chicoutimi and Aldor are playing, they go watch that, like go pay attention to this guy, see if he fits the Wildcat way. Do we have pro scouts in junior, or is it somewhere that's...
We don't have, we don't have pro scouts per se. We do have our guys in Quebec. Like, Alex will go see games. If there's a team that's going to play in Quebec, he's based in Quebec. Rocket's in the Montreal area, so he'll see games there as well too. Even our guys in Nova Scotia. We'll see guys, and if, let's say, if there's a Quebec team that's coming up in our area, it might be myself, it might be Taylor that'll go see a game in St. John or Charlottetown or whatever the case may be, right? So, obviously you want to see guys in person, but we have a vast, library of these guys, whether it's all reports that we've done for them when they were 15 or 16 years old, and obviously as well too, everything is online. Like I can click 4 buttons and next thing you know, I've got all of their shifts that they've had in the last 4 games, so it's so we certainly get a chance to do that. But yeah, look, I mean, we talk to coaches as well too, and we talk to guys that know them. The old saying, the Wildcat way, we want good people as well too. We just don't want good players, right? So if we feel that there's a player that's, he may be really, really good on the ice, but if he's not good off the ice, he's probably not going to fit with us, So yes, I mean, obviously we've got connections, we've got contacts all over the place, to find out a little bit about these guys before we actually pull the trigger on something.
I guess just a follow-up to that. Do you treat the players in the league that you're looking to acquire like the draft, where you have a grade for that player that would fit with a kind of a draft board, but it's more of a trade board? Like we have X, Y, and Z and in grade A that would fit perfectly, and plan B, C kind of. Is it like the draft in the room when you're putting this thing together over the month or so?
I think obviously the draft, it's more along the lines sometimes of a best player available, okay, especially early on, okay, then you deal with kind of position, a little bit later on in the draft, around 7, 8, 9, 10 type of deal like that, right? So, but for us, obviously the trade deadline, we look at our needs, we look at what we think that we need to have, and then we kind of target those guys. Like if we felt that we needed a first line right winger, well then we'll kind of target those guys, right? So again, so I guess it's a bit more specific, I guess, with trades. Do we have a list of guys that we would like to have? Yes. Do we cross the there you go, exactly, yeah. Do we find out about those guys? Yes, we do, obviously. We have those conversations with their GMs and all that, and and then we see if they're available or not, and then if they're available, obviously, and if they're, if they're good players, and, obviously there's other teams that are interested in these guys too, right? So, and that's when the negotiations that get started. So.
Yeah, and it's like you've done this before, because that transitions perfectly into my next question. If you look over the current roster, you could make the argument that there's not a primary need. But at the same time, we know yourself and Taylor, you're not going to be twiddling your thumbs for 3 weeks. That's we hope not. But what would you say? What would you say is our key strengths and an area where we could improve on?
I think maybe it's always nice to have some depth. A bit more depth. You can never have too much of that. Obviously, come playoff time, you want to have as deep of a bench as you can. The further you go, you don't want your top line or your top 2 lines to play 25 minutes a night. They get burnt out real quick, right? So, but I'm going to tell you, we've got a really, really good top 9. We've got a really good 4th line as well too, and we've got a great top 6 defense. So honestly, if we can add some pieces to help us, then that's great. Looking at what's available, we're certainly not going to mortgage the farm for a player. We've kind of done, and obviously this is it's a good time to make a trade if you need to add and all that. But again, we feel that we've done those trades before. We did this over the summertime. We added, we needed some size on the back end. So you add a McKinnon and you add a Johansson, on the back end, and a Simon Mullen as well too as a free agent. then you need some help down the middle, like, to give Desi some help down the middle. So then you add a Vidicek, right? Yeah. You need some, a bit more offense, a bit more scoring, a bit more from your Euro up front. So you add a Pekarczyk as well too, right? So, so we've made a lot of these moves already. So right now we're just kind of looking at, adding, if we can add a piece or two or three, like, again, some depth a little bit to help us in the long run, then that would be fantastic.
I know I've talked to you before about this, and I know it's a lot when you see the WHL trades come down the pipe. The OHL, they don't allow first to be given away. You look at the Brandon Yager trade. Lethbridge gets Yager and Unger, and then they got 6 picks plus 3 players. It's just a massive deal where the Q has those bounce back deals. Is there a happy medium, or is there a preference that you or even Taylor would like to see CHL wide, I guess, kind of consistent around the market, because every league is different to their league, which I understand, but like a consistency from the CHL? Because you come through those WHL trades and you're like, they're giving away how many picks for the next 8 years? Like, they're trading grade 6 kids. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, listen, every league runs things a little differently, right? And I don't think you're going to get a consensus throughout the CHL. I really don't. Geez, we don't have that in the draft. Like, the WHL does 14-year-olds, right? Like, and I still don't understand how they do that. But anyway, that's what they decide to do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It really is. It really is, right? So no, I don't think that you're going to see that. I think that the fact that the O doesn't trade first round picks, I think that obviously then that increases the number of picks that they give out. Instead of giving 1 first round pick, then maybe it's 3 second rounders, right? So the value is I'm going to say almost the same, but at the same time, look, even for us, like when we look at trades and we look at a value of a player, we always look at what's been done in the past. Okay, so it's like, okay, look, we're going to compare this certain player. Well, this guy was traded for X, Y, and Y. Like, whatever the case may be. So we look to make those comparisons, right? And that's kind of what we go by, and the O does that as well too, and so does WHL as well too. So.
And I guess just one last one from me, hockey related, before we kind of finish it off with a fun one. We've already seen us kind of take advantage of the the NCAA rule change with the signing of Rudy Guimard. Without I guess giving away any information, any chance we maybe do that again before the deadline comes to an end?
Look, we're always looking. I don't believe that we would do anything right now. I don't think there's anything right now in the hopper, to be honest with you. But at the same time, Taylor gets calls on guys all the time. He's getting calls. He's got contacts all over the place, and he gets calls on players all the time. So, whether it's through a trade or whether it's a free agent, maybe in the U.S. or, an American kid, or whether it's, a kid that's playing an Atlantic Canadian kid that's playing down there, we're gonna take a look at all the different options now. But to answer your question, I'll say right now, no. Right now, there's nothing in the hopper right now. So.
You answer questions better on a podcast than politicians do in real life. Let's put it that way. We've been asking the players this question as we finish up the post game interviews. Does Rick Melanson have a favorite Christmas movie he likes to watch during the holidays?
Well, you can't go wrong with Elf.
Yeah,
I'm a big Will Ferrell fan, so you can't go wrong with that one for sure.
Put him down for Elf.
Elf. Yeah. That's one of the higher ones. We've got a couple Home Alones, and then Dylan McKinnon come off the top rope with A Christmas Story. So
okay. Well, my second one is Die Hard. So
that's that. Yep, I'll take it. Take it. Adam's not a fan.
Long time listener. He knows my Yeah. Oh, well. All right, Rick, you've got some work to do, and you guys have a busy week ahead. So we always appreciate your time off the ice and here tonight. So again, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Anytime, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks.
Yeah, just as usually happens, they know how to answer the question without answering the question. And obviously they know that we have a massive reach, and a lot of people listen to this. Other GMs listen to this, especially this time of year. But I think we have the ability to again, like we've talked about 2 or 3 times in these past couple of weeks, the ability to add where we need to without giving up to make this team fortified better. Like it's already a good team, but fortified better team. That's what they're going to be looking for without, like you said, twiddling their thumbs and waiting for something to come to us.
Yeah, I mean, at the same, it would be nice if we could take advantage of that USHL rule without even having to give up any assets. But it's we know it's not going to happen. But there's no chance Cole Eiserman's coming. Let's put it that way. I think he's still leading Boston University in scoring. But no, it's something like that would be being able to get, not only maybe a player that's still on the Wildcats protected list or a player that used to be on the Wildcats protected list and just get him here for, the second half or even next year as well. It could be just without even paying anything. Yeah. Right. Just a free agent or signing would be pretty worth it. Let's put it that way. But no, you're right. Like it's going to be interesting. When there's 8 teams buying and, 8 teams that are kind of, just sitting there wondering what what we're going to do and what we're going to want for these guys. It's, the sellers are going to make bank and the buyers are going to have to pay the price. Yeah.
And there's like you said, there's basically the whole Eastern Conference is buying.
Yeah.
A couple in the Western Conference, Shawinigan, Sherbrooke, they can afford to pick and choose what they want to buy. And it's going to be a weird deadline as well, because it's not going to be the normal deadline that fans are used to, where all the trades come Sunday and Monday morning. And then I know there's a Christmas freeze over the actual holidays, and then nothing to the World Juniors because there's 2 players, 2 Canadian players. Sorry. There's Catafor and Gauthier. They're not going anywhere. Nope. The only one that we're waiting for, Sumpf and Pekarchuk, they're not going anywhere. Is Matejko. And I think you said one other Latvian defenseman, maybe. But Matejko is probably the one. And I mean, unless they go on a heck of a run and get to the final, we're waiting on that deal. And that's maybe the only World Junior deal that we're waiting for. Yeah. So it's like, we might actually see a streamline of trades. They're not going to be high price, big ticket items, but we're going to see a streamline of trades into this and how we come out on the end. Only the guy we were talking to knows, and only Taylor knows, and can't wait to get it over with and pick his brain on how it came together.
Yeah. We had Rick tonight. Maybe we'll get Taylor in the new year and, kind of
I've put the wheels in motion to get Taylor in the new year.
Kind of get the final answers on how things look in the second half.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. As long as you're okay with that.
I don't see a problem with that at all.
No. All right. No. Let's transition back to the news that we had. And where were we? Oh, yes, the Boucher Team of the Week.
Oh, is that Mike?
You ready for the Team of the Week?
We still have the Q Team.
Q Team of the Week. All right, let's go to. I couldn't remember if we did the Q Team of the Week or we were at the Q Team again. Another week, another name that I can say all the names for. So Val-d'Or had Noah Reinhardt, 3 games played, 5 goals, 1 assist.
Well, this one's easy for you.
Yeah, I know. Sam Oliver from Drummondville, 5 goals, 2 games played, no assists. Cam Squires with the Michie, 2 games played, 3 goals, 2 assists. Patrick McNeil, don't call it the lacrosse goal, bud. I know you're excited, but you got to call it the Michigan. Speaking of which, have you seen the TikTok where the guy from Alberta, he's a AAA player, but it's like him and he's like on his knees pretending to be a little kid, and all he wants to do is mishies. He's like, just give me the puck, man. Just mishies behind the net. And he's trying to make the team. He's like, bud, you can't even pass. No, just behind the net. Just give me mishies. It's so good. Ty Higgins from Miranda, 2 goals, 3 assists in 3 games. Samuel Kingsley from Victoria. Wait a minute. That name sounded familiar. Goal and 2 assists in 3 games played. And Josh Fleming from Bathurst, 1-1 with a 949 save percentage and a 197 goals against average. Your player of the week was Noah Reinhardt from Val-d'Or. Again, 3 games played, 5 goals and 1 assist. So now we get to the Boucher Team of the Week.
That is correct. We're going to start in goal. And what would be a Boucher Team of the Week without a homer pick? Starting with Rudy Guimont. His first Q win, 37 saves on 39 shots. Not bad at all.
Nope. No, we'll take that.
On D, we're going to the Cape for Xavier Dag, the new Iron Man in Cape Breton with 169 consecutive games played.
Wow.
Yeah. 169 consecutive games played. And then also Samuel Kingsley for his week that was. But as I mentioned earlier, my prediction of him ending up in Rimouski after the trade period. Up front, Jonathan Fauchon, the new franchise record holder for most points in an Armada jersey. In Quebec, we're going Andreas Straka, 4 points for the Ramparts in their 2 upset victories over Baie-Comeau. And finally, Cam Squires, 5 goals in his last 4 games, including, as you called it, a Mishi. So that is the Boucher team of the week.
You got one more left for the first half. You can do a team of the first half, or you're just going to do a team of the week?
I'll see what I can come up with. We'll see if I can maybe get find the people with the lowest or the worst plus minus and turn it into a team of the week somehow.
Yeah. Baie-Comeau 6-4 loss and a 5-4 loss to Quebec at back-to-back nights, and they've been doing this schedule where they're playing the same team. They did it with Gatineau and they did it with Quebec. So something maybe the Q is trying with that division. They opened the season with Rimouski back-to-back, so kind of maybe limit the travel and. But yeah, not. You think that team's panicking after losing 2 to Quebec?
Probably not.
Probably not as much.
No. Much.
All right, let's talk about our team on the week.
Weekly Rewind.
All right, the Wildcats go 2-1 on the weekend, bringing the record to 22-5-2 for 46 points. First in the Eastern Conference. First in the Maritimes Division, and second, 1 point behind Drummondville in the QMJHL. Thursday, we did it. We won
a game on a
Thursday night. I mean,
it
was in Halifax, where I said they've had success there. They grinded it out. Yeah, you said it wasn't pretty. They came away with a 4-3 OT victory. Just grinded it out, and I think that's the theme of this weekend is in the 2 wins is grinding things out.
I think this team's getting tired.
Yeah,
I think they're getting tired. I mean, they are not the same team they were a month ago.
No,
like it's like a drastic change. Like I think they're tired, and I think they need a break, and I think that's why Rick said depth acquisitions are going to be.
Yeah, they haven't had a night off. I mean, they're not. Top 6 aren't going to generally take load management nights off, but you're right. There's a big change from the start of November to what it is now. And
it's going to be a grind from here to the end of the season because, with six teams in the East buying, the stands are going to be tight until the end of March. So it's not going to be like, you can go into that hopefully you can go into that last weekend of the regular season and, rest some guys, but they could also be valuable points on the board.
Yeah, what did I say? 8 games ago, after 22 games, they had 105 goals for, and they're at 27. So in 8 games, they've added 20 goals.
Yeah,
which is not what we were used to, and we didn't think they were going to win 5-1, 4-1, 6-0 for the whole year. This thing's going to grind to a halt. But when you get into the second half, and we've seen it where we come out with gangbusters in the first half, and the standings get tighter, teams make adjustment. I mean, you're looking at the Eastern Conference, and we're at 46. Rimouski and Chicoutimi are at 41. Bathurst at 36, and Baie-Comeau at 34. So those are all teams that are going to get better.
Yep.
And yeah, I think the 2-week Christmas break with literally no one going to play extra hockey, I think will make a big difference.
Except for Sumpin Pekarchik.
Yeah, but we don't have 6 guys going like
we
did in 2020.
If there's 2 players right now who look like they're still in perfectly fine shape, it's Sumpin Pekarchik.
Yeah,
so
no, that's true.
I mean, I don't think there's a big worry there.
No,
but a couple weeks away from the rank might be good for this team right now.
Yeah, they're grinding them out right now. And Saturday against Rouyn-Noranda, I was excited to see this one. Two top five teams going at it, and the theme of this week being tired. I mean, it was just flat. Yeah. No juice, no nothing. They got the first goal. The crowd was excited, and they just came out after that, and it was just all Rouyn-Noranda. The shot clock doesn't show it, and Walosh played really good coming off I think it was the OT loss in St. John the night before, but that top line of Zonin, Verreau, and Steiner, they took the game over.
Yeah.
And we had no real answer for it, and kind of couldn't get out of our own way. And it was a flat effort against a very good team.
No, you're right. And there was, you're looking at it as, and yeah, Malosh didn't have a great night on Thursday up in Bathurst. I think he played.
Bathurst.
Yeah. So you knew he was going to rebound. He's one of the good young goalies in the league, and he rebounded. After that first goal, kind of held down the fort, didn't let another one in, and that was kind of the difference. Power play was trash. And it's been like that, all 3 games.
They scored a power play goal in these 3 games.
I don't know if they did or not.
1 for 3. Keep talking, I'll find out.
Yeah, and with the firepower that we've got, we used to have like the top power play in the league. Now we're down to what, 7th, 6th or 7th. So there's been a pretty drastic drop in the power play. I mean, we're still got one of the best penalty kills in the league, but you're not going to win games unless you're scoring power play goals or taking advantage of the opportunities. And there's been I think there needs to be some work on that power play to have some success in the second half.
Yeah, 0 for 7
on
the weekend.
Yeah, so.
And even before that, the game against Cape Breton, they were 1 for 5.
When the Quebec Ramparts have a better power play than the Moncton Wildcats,
yeah,
that's trouble. When the Val-d'Or Ferrer have a better power play than Moncton Wildcats, that's trouble.
What did I say? 0 for 7, 0 for 8, 0 for 9, 0 for 10. So they were 0 for 10 until they scored 0 for 11 until they scored the power play goal with 8 minutes left on the Luke Patterson high stick.
Wow.
On December 1st. So that is 1 for 12 in the month of December, and that's a bit of a concerning point when you've got
the firepower we have.
And it's the second unit that was carrying the power play.
Yeah.
And that's dropped off. We went from the 1st to 9th in overall power play. Like you said, PK is still at 85%, which that's just fine. But yeah, there's too much firepower on this penalty kill or on this power play, and I think a lot of it too sometimes is they're standing around.
Yeah,
and
you know what I've noticed?
Yeah,
every time you get the power play, you get the automatic face-off and offensive zone.
Yeah,
if they don't win that face-off, they're done.
Yeah,
they have no control over the play. If they lose that face-off, don't expect them to score.
No,
like it's just they've got nothing in the tank if they don't win that face-off.
They got the face-off play, and then they go off that, and if they get a shot or whatever, they come in. But it's the zone entries that are the biggest problem, especially if they even win the draw and end up coming back into the offensive zone.
Mm-hmm.
Stop dropping it back. Oh, just
you said it.
Do something. I
mean,
we're not my favorite, and it's like when it doesn't work, don't try it again. Don't try it again. Don't try it again. Figure out a different way to get it in the zone.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is because I'm not paid to figure it out, but it's just like they try it, and if it doesn't work, they try it again and again. And it's just like there's got to be a different play. Everybody uses it. Everybody knows how to defend it.
Mm-hmm.
Chip it in. Figure something else out. I think maybe you'll see put some guys that aren't usually on the power play. Give them an opportunity just to see what it is, just to find a new wrinkle. And maybe that goes to, like you mentioned, guys being tired is they're playing, Gardner goes extensively on a top 9 and the bottom line the fourth line doesn't get a lot of ice time.
That's got to change.
But that has to change.
I mean, if you make a depth move, let's say you bring in a third line player,
mm-hmm.
Are you going to have a guy like Gabe Smith or Preston Lounsbury or Vince Collard just get no ice time at all?
6 minutes a night on the fourth line?
No.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. And Preston Lounsbury, if we're not saying he is, but let's say he's the guy that goes down. we're not going to have him play 6 minutes tonight and just be a PK guy. Because that's a waste of a talent there. Collard, waste of a talent.
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't hate the idea of putting Kluche on the second power play unit to stand in front of the net. Gabe Smith, stand in front of the net. Try something new, because something has to change a little bit. And yes, we're 22-5, but
the play recently is
concerning.
Yeah, like the games that we've lost have been, 1 or 2 goal games.
Yeah,
and those are your power plays. You're getting 1 or 2 power plays a game. You take advantage of those opportunities, and we're not losing these games because we're making up the goals on the man advantage. So it is a problem. It is getting to be a problem.
Yeah,
I don't care for 22 wins and 5 losses. There's always room for improvement. There's, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're nitpickers." Well, that's our job, right? This is what we do. We dissect this team. We give an opinion.
This is why you're all here. You're talking about this.
If we won an 18 game winning streak like the London Knights did before they blew it and lost the Oshawa Generals, who decided to fire their coach, maybe we wouldn't nitpick.
Yeah,
right. We would have nice things to say. We'd probably find something that would need improvements. Well, right now we're kind of seeing a not so good trend with this team.
They've plateaued.
Yeah, they've kind of leveled off a little bit.
Leveled off. That's what. Yeah, leveled off.
And it's there's these games against St. John, against Halifax, against Gatineau. They shouldn't be 1-goal games, right? We shouldn't be having to find a tying goal and then win it late, or find a tying goal and win it in overtime, or blow a 3-goal lead, right? This team is experienced enough that those things just shouldn't happen. I haven't looked, but I'm not going to call out players. That's not what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But there are 2 players who, at this point of the season, are not on the same production as they were last season.
Yeah.
And if they were, again, those are the goals that we would have to win these games that are close. So, the players that, whose goal production happens to be down compared to last season might want to get her going.
And you're gonna have nights where any team can beat any team, like on any given night. Like, Drummondville struggled with Charlottetown. They beat them 4-2. Quebec took them to overtime 6-5. Like, you're gonna have Victoriaville, they 4-3. You're gonna have those nights. But what is a little bit concerning, and I'm not saying that it's anything compared to last year, but if you're a Moncton Wildcats fan for the past 2 years at least, you've seen the trajectory of up, the trade deadline, and then January is the trouble. And I think that's where they've kind of leveled off. And I talked about it earlier in the year, GCP, the game-changing plays. Having the power play is really cool at number 1, but it needs to score when you need it the most. And, struggling to get victories out of Gatineau is not what this team aspires to be. They know it in the room, and I think them going home, taking a flat 2-week break, and resetting their minds, getting some added acquisitions that can re-energize a group, I think is massive for this team. Going into Sunday, they flat out survived. They flat out survived for 2 points against St. John, if not for a diving play from Loshing and a bit of a weak one on Justin Robinson from Pekarchek. We're sitting here talking about losing 2 out of the 3 on the weekend, and and to be honest, it's clear St. John, a healthy roster or not, is just going to be a pain in our ass. Mm-hmm. They just are. Like, just get used to it. The quicker you come to grips with that in a game against St. John, it's going to be a grind out, and we're going to have to survive it. The easier these ones become, because that's just what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. We could be 27-0. St. John is just going to be that team this year that is just going to give us fits. They know how to play us, And it's just, I don't know if they get up because it's Gardner and he won a Memorial Cup, and
that's definitely what it is.
But yeah, they are just going to be that team that is going to give us fits this year. Now you talk about tired. 25 of 28 starts for Jacob Steinman. We finally got to see Rudy Guimont. Got his first W. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so he was good. He made the saves when he needed to make the saves. There's definitely some work that needs to be done on the rebound control.
Yeah.
There was actually something I picked up on, and I think this, for someone who was playing his first game in the queue, I thought it was very good pre-scouting done by St. John.
Mm-hmm.
They would usually, when they went up, it would be a dump and chase. They're shooting it on the net.
See if there's any nerves.
Yep, nerves, rebounds. Like there was if you're tired at the end of a shift, you dump it in the corner, go for your change. Nope, St. John's slapping it on the net.
Yeah,
wristing it on the net, looking to see if there's a turnover. And there were on a couple of occasions rebounds that literally came out almost as far as the blue line.
Yeah.
So it's we've got a pretty good goalie coach. They're going to be working on that with him, and I'd like to see him get another one before the break, whether it be Friday against. I think he's worthy of another start.
Yep.
At the same time, I don't think they're going to start him 2 games in a row.
No.
So, with Malota going to be away with the Czechs, maybe do a battle of the backups on Saturday against the Eagles.
Yeah, that was my takeaway from him. He moved good in the net. He was quick. He was shifty. Not in terms of like his feet were nervous or anything, but he made the right moves, got to where he needed to be. But I mean, on that Zachary Moran goal, right off the pad and straight out to him. But yeah, his rebound control. And again, that's something that you don't know what a goalie's rebound control is until they get in a game with different shooters. Like practice is one thing for rebound control. You can shift that to the side of the net, but with different shooters, different angles, different snap points, it's something to react. And they've got some film now in a game. Back-to-back years, our backup goaltenders got his first win in St. John. Keegan Warren got his first, which I was like, really wish we would have made that trip because last year we interviewed Warren after, and this year we would have. Would it have turned out that way? Probably not if we made that.
Well, I think based on the weather conditions, we made a smart decision not to go.
Yeah. It's got his first penalty too of the year.
Yeah. Didn't
play the puck over the red line.
Score sheet.
Yeah. I think that's something that you're going to have to find a backup goaltender starts.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's you feel confident enough in him after 2 starts in the second half, which I mean, if you're signing a guy, you're not going to bring him in for 2 starts and then whatever. Because you're going to get everyone's best. You're going to get everyone's number 1 goalie. You're not going to get a backup most nights unless like Jacob Malota's gone. You're going to get everyone's best goaltender. So you look at the schedule after this. I mean, I think Cape Breton makes the most sense. And then, you got St. John and 2 against Charlottetown to finish off the year. So there's room for him to get 2-3 more starts before 2025. And then you got a Gatineau in there. You got a Quebec in there. You got a Val-d'Or in there. So there's opportunities. And, you need to get the backup goaltender starts. And I know that it's in Gardner, we trust in the decisions, but you can't, to me, and I don't like betting against Gardner because it didn't work last time I did it, but you can't have your starter going 25 of 28 in the first half of the year. Now you have to have trust in your backup, and that's a big thing. But some nights, giving away 2 points because you don't trust the backup is fine, just to let the starter take a break.
Yeah,
because you got 2 road trips. You got Rouen and Val-d'Or and Rimouski, Sherbrooke, and Blainville. So you got two more Quebec road trips. And I'm not saying you're putting your backup just to lose because, but at some point you got to put a backup in there and just hope that you come away with 2 points because you can't run Jacob Steinman this much or it's going to be a short off season or a short spring.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No, God, no.
We had that last year.
Yeah.
We don't want
had
that
the year before.
And I want a nice extended spring.
You want hockey on your birthday?
I want hockey on my birthday. I think I've got a pretty good chance of it happening this year. Hasn't happened since 2010. So, be nice if they were still playing on my birthday.
Yeah, it really would. Where's the goaltending stats here? Minor penalties, goaltenders. Yeah, Jacob Simon leading in wins, and second behind Samro Malolch in Rouyn-Noranda, and he's only behind him by 15 minutes at 14:17. So, and then Rousseau at 14:03, Malota at 13:96, and Chicoutimi's Raphael Precourt at 13:50. So, those are top teams playing top minutes. But Riley Mercer, 21 games, they're 15 and he's 15-4. He's 200 minutes behind Jacob Simon. He's only played 1,200 minutes. Like, they're getting their backup, whether I don't want to say whether they trust him or not, but they're getting their backup in now. Their backup is also giving them a 7-1 record, which makes a big difference. Now, Keegan and Rudy have combined for 5 wins. They haven't been the prettiest, but that's what you need. Like, just get them in and I guess hope for the best, but you have to give Jacob Steinman some nights off, especially with they got I think a better road, a tougher, longer road schedule in the second half. So you're going to need to give him some nights off.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, goaltending depth in the nets is never a bad thing, especially when you can, if you want to go to your third guy, technically you can.
Yep.
That's kind of the beauty of it.
Yep. And based on what we're going to add in the next 10 days or so, 2 weeks, you hope you have the team playing in front of the backup, that things don't really change and you can come away with 2 points. But as you mentioned, the final weekend of the first half is upon us. Friday is Teddy Bear Toss Day, which means we get to pick who we think is going to. So you got Bathurst on Friday. Sunday is be a fan, bring a can against the Eagles. Teddy Bear Toss, sir. I don't think we've ever picked the right one.
I got it this year.
Yeah.
I got it.
I don't know how 2 guys are going to score the Teddy Bear Toss goal because I got it too. But
I got it this one.
Who you got?
So let's keep in mind that Julius Sump and Uri Pekarchik will not be around.
Yeah.
So you can't pick them.
Are they gone?
They will be. Yeah.
Oh, dang it.
So I'm going off the board here.
Oh, talk about depth being tested.
Simon Mullen will score the Teddy Bear Toss goal for the Wildcats.
Really?
Yeah.
A defenseman.
Little seeing eye wrister from the blue line.
First period? I'm not holding you to the prediction on that, but yeah, hopefully. Well, funny you should go defenseman. I too am going to go defenseman. It's going to be just almost it's too easy to go the defenseman that everyone is thinking that we're going to go with. So I'm going to go with, he's going to get the Teddy Bear Toss goal. He's going to get his first goal of the season.
My D partner.
Yeah, D partner, Nathan Grenier. And the reason he's going to score it over Jeremy as a defense partner is a power play seeing eye wrister.
Okay.
He's gonna let a power play one go.
They're actually gonna get a power play goal this game.
They are. First power play, first goal. Nathan Grenier will send the Teddy Bears flying. I mean, this is a stay healthy weekend, but you just mentioned it. No Pekarchik, no Sump, which is a very good top line. Jack Hain. Who else are we seeing coming up? Chance, I guess.
Cole Eisman and Gavin Cornforth.
But realistically, Chance will get in and Jack Hain. Like, we're gonna see what we have in the depth. That's a lot of goals out the window.
You have a Chance sighting.
Yeah, Chance sighting.
Hashtag.
Has he had a goal yet this year?
No.
I was really hoping for.
Did he have a point? I think he has a point. Does he have 1 assist? I think
he has no points.
15 games. Here we go.
Oh, that could have been a heck of a pick there.
Isaiah Chance.
Yeah. I mean, more than likely we see Jack Hain, maybe. Although I don't know if we'd see a Mitchell Wagner.
Again, with call-ups,
we could see both of them.
You need permission for them to be called up.
Yeah.
So let's check the old Maritime Hockey League schedule here.
I mean, Chance is already here, so we don't have to worry about that. Yeah. And but yeah, I mean, Mitchell Wagner could be a name. Maybe Jack Hayne. Those are probably the.
We're looking at what, Friday and Saturday?
Yeah.
Wagner's in
Miramichi.
So Miramichi does not play Friday.
Perfect. Pencil them in.
Jack Hayne is in Amherst, and they do play Friday.
All right. So that could work.
Yeah. So you're probably going to see Wagner on Friday. And Saturday, Miramichi plays. So you won't have Wagner then.
And Amherst doesn't?
And Amherst doesn't.
Oh, so there you go. Maybe Mitchell on...
yeah, Amherst doesn't.
Maybe Mitchell on Friday or Hayne on Saturday. The Saturday opponent, Cape Breton. How big of a game is this for them?
Oh, if Cape Breton wins, Andrew Barrington's going to be all over us.
I know he is.
Well, we beat you with our backup goalie. Yeah. And we are our two best forwards. It'll line up. Get out of my ass.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we haven't heard much from them, and I haven't. I don't know what you've heard, but how big of a game is this for them in terms of buying? I mean, they're 13 and 13
now. Eh? They beat all these teams that are below them in the standings, so they're on a bit of a run.
Yeah.
They're still going to buy. I mean, they're going to be the most aggressive team of the trade period. They're going to overspend. They're going to overbuy. They're going to go and get everybody available, and literally screw their franchise for the next 3 or 4 years. So yeah, there we go. That's your
prediction.
That's my prediction.
This could be one of the craziest buys if they lose to St. John or to lose to us 13-15 and all in
under 500.
All in under 500. What an exciting trade period. Let's go. All right. Ready for everyone's favorite part of the show?
That is true. That is correct. Yes.
Eric Murray, Realtor. Buy your house from him. Stick Tap of the Week.
All right. So after rewarding last week's to a billionaire, I'm going to bring it back local.
Yeah.
What we like to do here. I'm going to give a stick tap to the fine folks who have kind of reinvented the bus trips.
Yeah.
Who've resurrected the bus trips. Because it had been a very, very, very long time where there have been no fan trips anywheres. And the fine folks.
The last one was to Fredericton in the playoffs?
Probably. Yeah.
The very first bus trip I went on because I didn't have a job. So I was like, hey, honey, we have no money. Let's go on a bus trip to Fredericton to see them play Blainville.
Yeah. So this group has kind of brought them back and, doing a great job and, more basically selling out every bus that they're doing. They got a nice one to Quebec in March. A Wednesday in Rimouski, and then a Friday, Saturday in Sherbrooke and Blainville.
Yep.
So any information? What's their Facebook? Moncton Wildcats Fan Club or something like that. They got prices there. It's you're gonna need a couple days off work, but
I was talking to. It is March break.
It is all
So I didn't realize it was March break. So I was like, well, you're gonna get a lot of retirees. I don't know, but you're gonna get family shit. Well, it is March break. I'm like, well,
there you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But no, it's awesome. It's we're going to need them in the playoffs, especially if we've got some, if we got a Maritime opponent in the first round. It'd be nice to get down there for all the games, cheer on the boys, and I know it used to be called the Booster Club. I'm not a big fan of that name, but Marty was calling them the Booster Club. I was like, geez, that seems like it's early 2000s. But no, I'm just happy they're back because they're cost wise. So far, the value has been what I've seen. Value is pretty good,
and bus trips are 2-0. So
there you go.
Teams 2-0. 5 days, 4 nights, 3 games, March 5th to 9th. Single occupancy 1125, 2 per room 740, 3 per room 640, and 4 per room 580. Must sell 50 seats before they go. Deposit is half of that price, and it is on Moncton Wildcats Fan Club on Facebook, and I'm sure they're going to be selling tickets. Or deposits this weekend for that. So
there we go. Stick tap.
The Stick Tap of the Week, sponsored by Eric Murray Real Estate with the RE/MAX Avante team. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Greater Moncton or surrounding area, make sure to check him out on social media or give him a call at 506-863-8802.
All right, that brings us to the Wildcast Wildcat of the Week, presented by Rosemary, Lynns Massage and Spa. Right now, they've got teeth whitening. They're bringing it. I teased it a couple weeks ago. They now are doing it. It's available for booking. And it starts at $85. 3 15-minute sessions are included with your service price. Add another 15 minutes for only $20 as well. Don't forget they got the loyalty card. Buy 9 spa services, get 1 free. Call them at 506-830-1224 or visit them at 1224 Mountain Road. I mentioned it a couple minutes ago. The top line, you pretty much, I mean, they're the only line that's kind of been going in these past 3 weeks. You could have given this one to anyone. I know some had it for the past 2 weeks, but it's not going to be easy to spill these skates over the Christmas period. But with 2 goals and 2 assists in the last 3 games, Uri Pekarchik is your Wildcat.
You got your eye on him if you're watching on YouTube.
Love it. All right, that'll do it for the show. Again, Teddy Bear Toss is this Friday. I'm going to update our social medias every day until the game. This is one that should be advertised from day one.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully the Teddy Bear Toss doesn't end up in a line brawl like it did in Barrie against Ottawa.
That was so awesome.
Actually, it was in Ottawa against Barrie. That's my bad.
Yeah, the lights going off. They throw the teddy bears on and they turn the lights on, and guys are fighting.
There's a big brawl.
Yeah,
loved it.
I mean, we won't see fights, but yeah, hopefully we don't. Hopefully, don't see that. He's got Mullen. I've got Grenier for that. So get your tickets, sell at the building, bring a teddy bear. I wish they were wearing a Christmas jersey, even something with even simple, just red jerseys. Put a Christmas hat on the logo every year. That's all the Calgary Hitmen do. That's, you don't have to go crazy like Edmonton where they got different jerseys every year and they're dressed like a teddy bear or anything like that. You see the Armada's jersey?
Oh,
the ugly Christmas sweater with the A as I love it for one night. And then you turn around and you charity those 2 kids charities.
Yeah,
right?
I like that idea, but just they are ugly.
Yeah. Well, they're an ugly Christmas sweater.
Concept, yeah.
But yeah, like when you find out when this game is, start of the year, that's when you should be advertising for this one. If you need tickets to the game and you have the Hometown Rewards member, check your app. There are promo codes until December 31st. And if you don't have it and you want to go to the game, download it. Get some discounts.
Yeah.
Let's fill the building again. Massive thanks to Assistant General Manager Rick Melanson for joining us, getting us ready for the trade period, answering our questions without answering our questions. And for Jeremy, I'm Adam. Let's see who's right, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Wildcast podcast. Follow us on social media at Moncton Wildcast.